On November 2nd, 1959, Jimmy Powers, sports editor and commentator for NBC's Gillette Friday Night Fights at Madison Square Garden, made his case for getting Congress back involved with the professional baseball and football expansion efforts. He noted that Bert Bell and Ford Frick had given their solemn assurance earlier that year to a committee debating extending the scope of the antitrust laws, that they would not attempt to perpetuate their monopolies, that they would assist in expansion of their sport, and that in all things they would render every aid possible as a gesture of good faith. Jimmy reasoned that healthy competition never hurt anyone engaged in a legitimate operation, and that if the Continental League and the American Football League started functioning as planned, they would benefit the fans and the athletes. They would create new jobs, bring new revenue into cities, provide work for trainers, ushers, writers, photographers, greenskeepers, electricians, and advertising agencies. They would help a great many athletes make a living. Jimmy noted that the men behind the AFL, Lamar Hunt, Bud Adams, Barron Hilton, Max Winter, Robert Howsam, and Ralph Wilson, were almost, without exception, multimillionaires, and he called their combined net worth staggering. Jimmy informed his readers that when rich men had tremendous incomes, they could charge off losses against those incomes for a specific number of years, and that this practice was done in every business, whether it was publishing, brewing, manufacturing, steel making, or general construction. Jimmy noted Branch Rickey's words, stating that our Continental League was the only way the 175 million people could see long overdue expansion of any proper kind, adding that the budding league had received unqualified assurance of encouragement in what Branch thought was cooperation from organized baseball. In a gesture of good faith, the Continental League disclosed its records of its 5 team members and gave organized baseball specific pledges relating to indemnification of territorial rights. Lamar Hunt had a parallel experience when the late Bert Bell had told Congress and Hunt that a second professional league was good for the players in the NFL. He assured Lamar that the NFL was not anxious to run into another player war. The threat to expand the NFL into the Texas territory was not consistent with Bell's thinking. Jimmy noted that ill-conceived greed, plus an effort to escape a federal ruling that sent the boxing monopoly into splinter groups, was behind it all. Jimmy summed up his case by noting that each year, thousands of new football and baseball players graduated from college, and that there were enough players, money, and cities with enough fans to support new leagues. There were also sufficient experienced coaches like Eddie Erdelatz, Frank Leahy, and certain others who would gladly forsake college positions and in return be replaced by capable assistants. Even the pros had a self-generating way of coming up with new head coaches, as witnessed by Vince Lombardi at Green Bay. It was Jimmy's belief that pure, unadulterated greed would prevail unless Congress stepped in with the same big stick that broke up boxing's monopoly.